All right, ladies and gentlemen, traders, welcome back to another Relentless recap. If you're tuning in for the first time, consider subscribing to the channel. Other than that, of course, hit that thumbs up and let's get into it. So as you guys can see from the thumbnail and the title, it is the last day of the year, the last day of 2023, and we are locking in 2K in gains in about 2 to 3 hours of trading, maybe even a little less than that. So it's a solid day to close out the year. We did our job here this week, locking in green days and being consistent. Now, the questions are still the same. Relentless. How did you find the stocks that you traded today? What patterns and setups were you looking for? And how were you looking to manage risk on those opportunities, those entries? So first and foremost, as usual, Momo Pro. This is the platform that I use every day to find stocks that I trade. If I come down here to the discovery section, I can see every single stock in the stock market filtered. There's the close, filtered in percentage order. And I can come and see exactly, I have this filter for myself, and I can come and see exactly, what's up in terms of, the range between, let's say, 50 cents and $50. I want stocks that are high in percentage gain, high volume, and low float, right? The float, aka shares outstanding, is on the lower side, which definitely helps us when it comes to supply and demand. If there's limited shares available, and high demand, aka high volume, creates an imbalance, and we can see a squeeze either up or down, and that provides volatility, which leads to a lot of opportunity for entries. So as we can see, stock SNTG is leading the way, stock SXTX also here, CGA, and you guys will notice that I traded these same three stocks and a few more. ADTX, which also was on this list. Actually, it's a little bit, it's down here, dropped down since the open, but it's still on the list. So this is how I found the stocks that I traded today. So the good thing with the scanner is that I don't need to wake up at 4 a.m. and read breaking news headlines and try and search the internet to see which stocks are moving. It's right there. I show up, it's already there. Lovely, beautiful, beauty in simplicity. Now, the second thing is, hey, Relentless, what are the patterns and setups that you're looking for? But before we talk about it, I have to mention the disclaimer, which is that day trading, like any other business in the United States of America and the world, is risky. What we do here every day is risky business. Even today, I made money, but I definitely lost a fair amount to get here, right? It's not just smooth in, out, green, that's it. No, that's not what it is. It's a lot of ups and downs, but you have to be disciplined in order to get the consistency through and through. So understand that if you're starting out, if you're new, if you're not quite as consistent as you'd like to be, utilize the simulators, utilize paper trading, reduce your risk as you're going through the learning curve. Secondly, the live streams and recaps are never an invitation to copy trade. The strategy is detailed and intricate, and it takes months, more commonly years, to become efficient and proficient through a lot of practice. Lastly, remember to be careful out there. I do not invest for my subscribers, which means I will never reach out to you, and I'll never reach out to you asking for money or just conversating randomly. If someone is reaching out to you, it's probably a fake account. I do not message people first. So be careful, stay safe out there, especially if you're not like without reason, someone maybe crossed the line in the chat room. I'm not messaging people randomly, guys. So stay safe out there. So with that being said, let's talk about the patterns and the setups that we traded today. So we'll start off with stock ADTX, as this was the first one, I believe, that I traded. Actually, no, we traded SXTC first. So I'll start with this one. SXTC, just for some quick context, started off pre-market around 7 a.m. As you guys know, I trade after 9:30. So all this beautiful move here, I essentially am not trading. I'm waiting till the opening bell. And this is a 168% move just in that area there. So some people will say, Relentless, maybe you should trade pre-market, but I have my reasons why I don't. So it starts off by pushing up aggressively and we pull back. And there's this theme here, right? We move up, it pulls back, it moves up, it pulls back, and then again, moves up nicely here, gives another pullback. And so coming into the open, we recently had a push. So we moved up right here again, and then we started to see the pullback. So I was hoping for the red to green, right? The red to green is one of the patterns that we look for. And if we're to, depict it here quickly, literally, can we go from, having red candles, right? Red candles into a nice sweet green move right up into the open, red to green. Although that's not quite showing super well. But yeah, so that's exactly what we're actually going to get here. And when it comes down to the entry point and how I was looking to manage risk, so we had a high point of 624. We opened at 586. So right into the open, the very first entry that I can look for from our list of entries that we trade is called the break of the whole dollar, right? So if I'm to pull up the classes here to show you guys all the edges and patterns that we utilize on a daily basis, this is one of them, right? The break of the whole dollar. So let's come all the way down here to chapter 24. So I'm every day I'm consistently looking for these same patterns over and over and over again. And if we come down, we'll see the break of the whole dollar. So there's the halt edge. Here we go, edge number 16, half and whole dollar pattern, right? Because and I think this is like kind of universal at this point, but a lot of stocks will react in a very interesting way when they're at the half or $1 area, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 550, 650, and so forth. And so the moment we're breaking through, there's either an anticipation entry or the entry right at the level as we're holding. So if I'm watching this thing and volume is coming in and I notice that, hey, we're about to push through the level, I can be in 95 as we're coming up for the break of the level, or I can be in at the level after we've broken over and we're holding above. If I'm in at 95 and I'm anticipating to move through, Relentless, what are you looking to stop out of the trade? Well, there's two things. Either if we stall out and it seems as if we're not going, it's very quick, very fast paced, keep in mind. If we stall out $6 and it seems like it's not going, I'm going to try and sell scratch for flat trade, maybe a small loss. If we push up and red hits the tape, people are selling, and it comes down and it comes down quickly, I'll try to take as quick of a loss as I can and keep it tight. Maybe I lose 10 cents, 15 cents, but I don't want to be in and losing a ton, maybe getting caught in a big red candle like this going down. I want to be in and out. And so what we do is hyper scalping. We're in and out hundreds of times throughout the day, looking for a few cents at a time. So can I be in at 95, out at 605, maybe 610, 615, depending on how strong this is. And we can see this went all the way to 639. Now what happens is that within this 1 minute candle, it dipped down, went back up, dipped down, but it got a little tricky. We got to manage the risk. We got to keep it tight, and we got to be careful. So this is the first edge that I was looking at, was the break of the whole dollar. And hey, how well can we continue to hold the level? The second edge that I did pay attention to here was the break of the previous high, which was a pre-market high. Pre-market, we priced in a high point of 24. We had a high point of 39 into the open, but we did not hold above that level. So, in pre-market, there's a ton of patterns within this move that we can identify and look at, but we're not going to, including the wedge pattern here, even a bit of an ABCDW there. But moving on to ADTX. So this one happened to be the red to green initially. The red to green. And indicators for early entry, first and foremost, the bottoming wick that we had here, which leads into the panic flush edge that we look at. And then the 1 minute candle starts to make the new high for the red to green, a reversal. So over 627, we got up to 36, pushing over the level of 33 in here, and then this surged up. Because I was watching at other stocks, I did miss this initially, but this brought me to the next pattern that I look at, which is the halt edge, the halt resumption pattern, which is also in this list here, edge number 14. So there's a bunch of different edges that we have for, you know, our edge. You know, I'm not even sure there's a plural for that, but anyhow, there's a bunch of different setups that we have to engage the stock depending on the area that it's in. And if there's not a pattern that we're looking, if the stock is in a place where we're not seeing one of the patterns on this list, then we will avoid taking the trade. So that's something to keep in mind. So just a sneak peek, I'm gonna pull up the let me log in here, right? I'm gonna log in as if I'm a student. We're gonna pull up today's archive. So let's come all the way down. It'll be at the very bottom of the list of archives. Relentless trader on the 29 plus 2K here. All right. So let's pull this one up. Let's take a look. ADTX is the one we're looking at. The level 2 is on the right hand side. Here we go. So we open up at 7:30. There we go. We open up at 7:30. And it rips. And initially my level 2 was lagging here. I did forget about that, right? So I had some technical difficulties on this resumption. Give it a sec. It's gonna catch itself here. In the moment, I was thinking I might have needed to restart my platform or something, but it's gonna come back here in a sec. This is the stuff you deal with. A quick side note, like there we go. Now it's flowing fluid. Quick side note. That's the type of stuff you sometimes have to deal with as a trader. Anyhow, so we pull back here, and we pull back to 13, and I'm gonna end up taking this entry down here. I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna go for it. So the spread opens up 18 by 37, but I'm buying fairly early and I should get a decent fill in here. I did click slightly early there. So I saw a low of 13 or so, right? The low is saying that 11. If I'm in at 22 right now, like I am, there's no way that I want to be stopping out of this below, you know, let's say worst case, $7. Best case, if this doesn't go, I can stop out right here in the spread. Worst, well, not worst, but, you know, other than that, maybe, hey, can I get out before 11 perhaps, right? Sometimes when I lose big, it's because I'm in like this and it flushes down to 670 into the halt and I just lose 70 cents in the blink of an eye. But that doesn't usually happen. It happened yesterday. We lost like 3K on that trade, which was just kind of ridiculous, but it doesn't happen all the time. It doesn't happen frequently, which lets me know that the strategy is profitable. And so I'm in at 22 and it doesn't quite go immediately. So again, this is an example of me keeping the stop tight. And so if we can hold, maybe I can try it again. And this is the beauty of the strategy. So it is going to hold. I am going to try it again. And can we see the move up this time? And there's 35. And I say, you know what? This is good enough for me to take something. And so this is what the strategy is. You know, it's being very quick when it's not going, when it's not working, and being able to always get back in, right? So right here, I'm seeing, okay, I'm out around 30 area because it didn't really boost up like they usually would, right? But it also didn't sell off again down back, you know, going back down to 710. So like, you know what? Let's just throw some shares out there and I'm going to try and keep it tight again. And so let's see how it does. Okay, this time we get up to 43 and, you know, there's another $200, right? So the strategy is, can we continue to be in and out over and over multiple times throughout the day, keeping it tight and looking to get the extensions in the areas that we know work well. Guys, ultimately, the volume for us as retail traders is maybe a measly 15 to 20% of the volume. 80% of the volume are the big banks and big institutions. And so you can picture us as we're the scavengers. We're trying to get whatever we can, all the small bits and scraps and pieces, as the real deal is moving, as the real force is going through. There's a big whale, and we're the little shrimp and everything else that's trying to just nibble away at some of the food. Because best believe the big institutions and big banks are the ones really influencing these stocks, right? So the strategy is designed to take small bits and pieces, as the move is happening. We're never going to capture the entire move. That's not the goal here. And so if we're disciplined, we can be able to be consistent, but you have to be disciplined. The strategy obviously works, or else myself, Marcelo, Tim, we wouldn't be able to make gains. Marcelo, 3K right here a few days ago. Before that, another 3K again, right? Before that, 4K. Like, we wouldn't be able to make these gains, without the strategy being profitable. All right. And even let's take a look at Tim here quickly, right? Tim, just to emphasize again, just take a look at these sweet gains, right? Take a look at these sweet gains. Take a look at these sweet gains. December, okay, this going up is the most recent, right? 11K, 4K, 5K, 6K. The strategy would not work, at all if you can't be disciplined, and if it wasn't already proven, right? So just keep that in mind, that you have to be disciplined in order to be successful, but the strategy itself does work. And so that's a small example of how I was able to get to the 2K level. So we had the halt resumption trades in there. We pushed up higher, and this does lead to some entries as well, right? So we push all the way to 780, but what does the stock do? It drops to a low of 711, which is a 70-cent drop, and it pulls back into the previous halt level, which is now acting at this point as support. So it's like buying into this zone, and I bought into that zone, but I didn't do a good job holding it long enough to get the entire move back up, or else I could have made more. And for me, there are times where I need to hold longer, and there are times where I need to be quicker on the sell side. And there's also a little bit of fear, right? Fear of there being a bigger drop. And so at times you sell the trade, much sooner than you need to, trying to avoid either a big move down or just looking to take gains at times. But ultimately, you as the trader will have to decide. But from a big drop like this, it goes all the way back up to $8, which is then a 80-90 cent bounce, right? So there's opportunity left and right. Okay, it gets a little choppy here, but we pull back, right? We pull back again, we get a higher low. Instead of coming all the way down to 11, we hold 24. And then what happens? Curls all the way back up to $8 again. And then look at what it does again. Comes back down to 21 this time, curls where? All the way back up to 8.15 again. So if you can be disciplined, if you can be quick, if you can, be able to recognize the patterns, there's going to be opportunities for you. And the beauty of the market is that it's so liquid. This is just one stock out of, over 10, 15,000 stocks. So what it means is that there's enough room for everyone, whether they're trading this stock, a different stock, there's, not to mention large cap stocks, the Apples, the Teslas, the Amazons of the world. There's so much opportunity here. And again, us as retail traders are only making up 20% or less of the volume. It just goes to show you how much more room there is to grow, right? So it's pretty promising. It's also, I think the new year will be a better year than this one. As we trade on a day-to-day basis, even on days like today, we could have for surely done better. So I have no doubt that the new year will be even better, because that's what everything is indicating. Maybe there comes a time where we see in this that we start to see a ceiling, a cap. But for right now, there's no cap. There's not even a cap in thought or in sight. So we'll keep pushing, we'll keep improving, and we look forward to the opportunities. So, this is just a quick recap. I cannot go over every single thing that's made me profitable in this recap. It's impossible. I'd be here for 10 days and 10 nights. So I urge you guys to check out the other recaps, because there's small bits and pieces of information throughout all the recaps and live streams of the year. Or you can check out the classes, right, where everything is organized in a progressive order, right? If you guys want to get involved in the classes, you can utilize coupon code DREAM, which is still active, for 50% off. You can utilize coupon code DREAM for 50% off. All right, so be sure to check out Merciless Markets. Start off the new year on the right foot and get yourself in gear, get yourself in rhythm. It's not easy. We do not guarantee success, because it still takes a lot of hard work, but it's possible. If I'm doing it, if Tim is doing it, if Marcelo's doing it, it must mean that it's possible. All right, so with that being said, be sure to hit that thumbs up. If you're a new viewer, consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'll catch you guys on Sunday on the monthly recap, and then again on Monday for the yearly recap. All right, guys, with that being said, it's been Relentless Trader, and I am, of course, signing out.